Hello, Mr. Watering. My name is Linda Pratt Lilly. I am currently a Title I part-time tutor at Central Preston and at South Preston. I've been doing that for about 4 years. I'm also a sub in Preston County. My kids went to school here. I am very interested in becoming a part of your Preston County Learning 2030 team uh, for change makers, because for 30 years I've wanted to be a change maker in education. I have a degree in education, but I've never used it in a traditional sense. I homeschooled my daughters, mainly for the reasons is that I, for the reason that I wanted to hopefully create self-directed learners, and also have them create and get to know people from all different walks of life, all different ages, and create healthy emotional connections with a lot of different kinds of people. So we were out in the community. We were part of a co-op. I was one of the primary instructors at the homeschooling co-op that we were a part of. I've also done a lot of community service work. I served as an AmeriCorps Vista for 3 years with Preston County Starting Points and the Family Resource Network. In that time period, I developed a program we called iKick, stood for I Know I Can, which was a middle school girls empowerment program that I ran at Central Preston through Karen Ovesley helped me get the program together, and I ran about 3 of those at her school, and we also ran one down in Rollsburg. It was a 10-week program. So I've done that, number of other different things, got quite a bit of experience with grant writing, but through all of that, I've never felt that I could really fit into a regular classroom. That's why I haven't had my own classroom. I just wanted to, I just know kids have such a tremendous thirst for knowledge, and I always wanted to encourage that. I didn't, and I just felt like in a regular classroom we had too many things to do every single day, and we have to do it in an efficient kind of way. I watched some of those videos that you shared and I was so excited. And I found there was one educator that said we've become more interested in supporting the system and not the kids. And I don't think it's really anyone's fault that has happened. That's just kind of the mechanism we find ourselves within. But when I started watching these videos, I was so excited, because this is the kind of education that I have been exploring and researching and advocating for many years. The qualities that I feel like a good change maker should have: they need to be patient, and they should be a good listener, excuse me. You're going to have a lot of pushback, and you have to understand that change makes some people nervous, because when things are shifting like that, everybody's kind of worried about, well, how am I going to fit into this? How am I going to do this? So it's kind of a challenge, and you're probably going to run into people who are not always going to be polite, professional with their pushback, and you need to be able to let that run off your back and not worry about that. I think it's also important to be effective at communicating, not only with individuals but large groups. Some people prefer one or the other. I'm comfortable doing either. And the game-changing idea, I have a few, and after watching those videos, some of the programs that I'm familiar with and that I've always wanted to implement somewhere, Preston County Schools is, there's one program in particular I'm a big fan of. It's called Challenge Day, and if you go to challengeday.org, you can learn all about it. But I was fortunate to be a adult volunteer at a Challenge Day with my sister in a big high school in Pennsylvania. And aside from the days that I got married and my kids were born, it was the most profound and moving day of my life, and I'm not overstating that. It's a one-day program that brings together kids from all walks of life within a school setting. Um, there's a 1-to-4 ratio of students to teachers, and the teachers have to fully participate. And it really is very effective at breaking down the walls that we have built up and dropping those masks that we wear so that the kids that have been through all kinds of different trauma and scary things realize that there's other kids in their class who have been through that as well, and that they are not alone. They're never alone. And it was just an amazing program. Um, so I think that this kind of program would start to change the culture of the schools, um, and break down those barriers the kids have amongst themselves, and even between the teachers and the kids. Another thing I think we really need to be focused on is more of a trauma informed approach to recognizing the baggage that these kids bring into our schools. And the social emotional learning part of it, they talked about in those videos, but they didn't actually show or talk about how they went through it. I'm sure they are, but I just feel like it's such an important component because we do have these kids come to us with so much pain and baggage, and we really need to educate the heart as well as the mind. And there's one more idea that I'm quite familiar with that would fit very well into the kinds of learning that are being proposed, and that's called a walkabout. And it would be probably an alternative path to graduation. And it is a student-directed, experiential, project-based, community service-focused program for juniors and seniors. So those are some of my ideas, and I really hope we get to explore them in a one-to-one conversation. And I do apologize for getting this to you so late. I had it in my brain that it was going to be due the first Friday in November. So then when I started working on it this weekend, I was like, oh no, the 4th is Monday. So I do apologize. And I hope we get to talk about this further. Thanks very much. Bye.